Hello and welcome to Chasing Growth. The purpose is to encourage Christian leaders to get better. When you get better, everybody wins in your church, organization, ministry, nonprofit, in your company, in your neighborhood, in your family. So it's your job to always be working on getting better and keep growing. And that's why we make these videos. And to watch more of these videos and learn a little bit more about Chasing Growth, visit our website. It's chasinggrowth.org. You can subscribe there. You can send me messages. You can do all kind of stuff. So please visit the website, chasinggrowth.org. So today I want to talk about how to keep your sanity in leadership. Why this is so important? Because there's three things I believe that every leader should be doing, because leadership is full of challenges. Leadership is already you exposed. Everybody's always checking on what you're doing. Everybody's evaluating what you're doing. People not always happy. And when there's people involved, there's craziness happening. And you will be amazed and surprised if how people react, the thing that people does and say sometimes. How sometimes when you're in leadership, you can be attacked. You can be accused of things. You can be in the middle of gossip. So many things can happen when you're in leadership. And a lot of times, leaders, if you talk with any pastor or any people who have been in leadership for a while, they want to quit. They dream, they daydream with just having a job where they just do two things and they don't have to do with people. They daydream with that job where it's just cutting grass or doing something that they don't involve dealing with people and situations and making decisions and having the stress and having all what it comes to be a leader. So today I want to talk about these three things that if you're not doing, you want to start practicing this. You want to start practicing this, find ways to do it, and find ways to really implement this in your life. And it's a thing that's happening all the time. So the first thing you need if you're in leadership is an outlet. And what I mean with an outlet, you need somebody where you can go and talk. Somebody who not necessarily have nothing to do with the work that you do or is involved in the organization that you have, but is a very good person listening. Now, if you're a Christian leader, that outlet many times will be God. That outlet will happen in prayer. So when you're in that prayer, you have to be brutally honest with God and really say what's going on, how you feel, even if those thing that you're going to say, it may almost make you feel guilty of saying it before God because it's like horrible things. But you have to say them. You need that outlet. Sometimes that outlet can be a person. If you're a married man and a leader, I will always recommend that outlet could be your wife, where you can actually, somebody can you really, really trust. In my case, it's my wife. In my case, it's God and my wife. And those are my outlets. I usually don't go to other people with situations because usually sometimes, especially in Christian leadership, people, for example, if I work in a nonprofit, I work in a ministry, and something happened and I go to talk with somebody at church about it, they probably know and they identify the ministry. So it's hard to be able to maintain that confidentiality to some extent. So you want to be very careful with those outlets. Sometimes those outlets can be created inside of the environment of the organization, of the community of workers, community that is serving together, and you open spaces where people can freely share. Those can be meetings or spaces, but there again, you have to work really hard in getting that trust to have that space where people actually can do that. However, there's some outlets sometimes that you just want to scream. You just want to say what you feel. You just want to say, and sometimes what you feel is not the right thing, but you want to say it to get it out. You want to say it to get it out. You want to, so I would recommend definitely have an outlet, have a person, if you're a Christian, definitely going to go. Now, another outlet sometimes, and this is very important, email yourself. And this is, I have learned, is so important. Something happened. Problems in leadership, decision problem, mistakes, situations, whatever. People's involved, things happen. Send, and you're just upset. You got that email that's accusing you of something or saying something. Just type that email and send. Put your email address first, and then type that email, all what you feel, and send it to yourself, and read it tomorrow. Read it the next day. You will be able to see how you can be your own outlet when you read it fresh next day. So if you want to have sanity in leadership, you need an outlet. You need, and you're a Christian, God is an outlet, and then somebody who's close to you, and they definitely gonna keep that confidentiality, and it won't affect how they feel about. For example, you're in a church. If you're talking with your wife and you're working in a church, and they're not gonna be telling you, "Oh, you have to quit to the church. You have to." No, you don't. You don't want that. You want somebody where you just can speak, let it out, and leave it there. You don't necessarily. You not necessarily need a feedback or information back. Let me tell you, I love to walk with my wife. We walk every day, and sometimes when things are not good or difficult, I talk to her in the walk, and she doesn't really give me any information back or tell me what to do. She just listen, and it's great to me because as I'm saying things to her when she's not interrupting and not telling me what to do or whatever, what path to take, at the same time I'm thinking, because that thing is getting out of my heart, out of my mind. Same thing happened in prayer. And again, in prayer, you have to be brutally honest. And if it's an email, send yourself that email. Never send it to somebody else. But the first thing that you need an outlet. Now, the second thing that you need to keep sanity in leadership is some people call it a jerk in your life. You just need somebody who's so real with you. No, it's not just person, not somebody who admire you necessarily, not somebody who report to you because they're always gonna tell you yes to everything. You need somebody who will tell you the truth, as hard as it is. You need that person in your life. You need that person who will tell you, listen, you're preaching too long, or hey, listen, and they will tell you things that hurt. Hey, what you were saying today didn't make any sense. This new idea doesn't really have anything. Or people who will tell you the truth. Why? Because when you get in leadership, and this is, I heard it from somebody else, but when you get in leadership, every joke that you say is a little funnier, and the more that you go up in different positions and more authority, more influence, your jokes get even funnier. So people laugh louder of your jokes, and that have to do with the position, with the leadership, with the influence. And the reality is that you're not that funny. You are not that funny. I'm not that funny. But again, people tend to laugh and ha because just you're in leadership, and you need to. So it will be, if you rely on that, in that feedback from that people, you pretty much never do anything wrong, because always gonna be a reason, kind of almost to justify you what you said, how you feel, and the thing that you're saying, why you did it that way. Or you need to find somebody who will tell you the truth, even if it's hard, and you will listen. Somebody who you listen, not somebody who you walk away and gonna ignore and never gonna talk to you. Now, this jerk in your life need to be somebody who care for you, but care for you more. They care for the relationship. So they care for you so much, they will tell you the truth, even when they know the relationship can be damaged, because they're telling you the truth. You need that person. If you don't have that person, let me tell you, you're gonna go cuckoo. You're gonna start making stupid decisions, thinking that you never do anything wrong, and this happens gradually, and you won't even see it. So you need that person, that jerk in your life, that will tell you all kind of things, the complete truth, all the truth, all the time, regardless of how you feel, make you feel, and all that stuff. The third thing you need is rest. And now, this is important. It's not as simple as just, I rest, I take some time here and there. No, you need to schedule rest. This is very important, because a lot of times in leadership, people get busy, and it's our ego, and we want to feel busy. We want to feel that we're doing a lot of things, making a lot of decisions, going to one meeting to another, and then we're taking care of our children, taking it to soccer, taking it to baseball, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We're running, and we think that our life is very effective because we're running all the time. And the reality is that we're not effective, and the reality is that we're not giving our best to what we do because we're always tired. And sometimes it's evident in people when they're late to things and they don't remember things, etc., because they're tired. They're not resting. And if you're a Christian, you know that rest is very important. So you have to rest. You have to schedule rest. Now, what type of rest? I will say two things. One, your sleep have to be good. The time that you sleep. You watch these guys online and Instagram, these guys that say, I go to bed at 11 p.m. and wake up 5 a.m. to work out and all that stuff. That's just a bunch of junk. You need a good sleep. If you're not reaching that good sleep where you dream and you recover, let me tell you, you're not going to be as functional. You're not going to be as effective. You're not going to be the best leader that the people who's around you and people who's below you deserve to have, because you're tired. And eventually they're going to take you to a place where you can get sick. You have to rest. So sleeping is very important, and you have to invest into your sleep, to have a cold room, to have a dark room, to have a room that is quiet, a place where you really can rest. And if you're a leader, you want to invest into that. Is very important. You will think better because you're resting, because you're taking the time to rest. Now, not only sleeping is important, also during the day you need to have some breaks. I personally recommend walks sometimes. If you cannot walk, I would recommend something else that take your mind away from the meat of the problem, from the meat of the situation, the meat of the decisions. Just take your mind away, because when you take your mind away and you detach, you're able to see better. That can be a walk. Maybe that can be a place where you go sit down for a few minutes and don't talk with anybody. Maybe some breathing during the day, that you sit down and breathe for a couple minutes. Without the phone, without the computer, without anything, you rest. And also you need to have a rest, of course, beside the work, beside making the decision, you need to rest. People that you're leading deserve that you rest, because if you rest, you will be a better leader, a better father, a better husband, more effective. Versus being tired all the time, running all the time. You're feeling good because you think you're effective because you're so busy, but you're not. So you have to make sure that you're investing and putting time into rest. Now, let me recap all these three things. And about rest, let me tell you, about rest, there's a lot of stuff online that you can find. Go find it. Go find exercises. One of the personal things I do personally, I invest in my sleep. I try to have at least 6 hours of sleep every night, a good sleep with dreams and all that stuff. I try to exercise constantly. That release a lot for me. Exercise constantly. You cannot be stressed out when you're lifting weight, for example. You cannot be lifting 230 pounds and be thinking about that person who did this thing at work. No, you're just focused on keeping that weight out of your body so you don't get crushed. And that actually takes your mind away, and that helps you with rest. It's very important. So you can find more about that online, and you can keep doing different things like that. So let me recap everything so we can finish for today. So how can you keep sanity in leadership is, I believe, there's three things that you have to do. And maybe there's more that you can add to the list that we're talking about. One, you need an outlet. And if you're a Christian leader, that can be God or somebody close to you, somebody who will listen and won't care. They're not necessarily going to give you advice. Somebody who will just be there to listen so you can just express yourself. And if with God, you have to be, again, sometimes we're not brutally honest with God because we feel like almost sinful to say, hey, I don't like this person, and we're supposed to love them, but how we said, you have to be brutally honest with God, and He will be happy to be your outlet and listen to you. He can handle it fully. He can handle it fully, any problems that you have. Now, also, again, if it's a situation with an email, I recommend email yourself. That can be your outlet at times, and that will, if you like to type and write, that kind of stuff, that can be a great thing. Also, another type of outlet, it could be a journal. Great, there's a lot of things, but you need to have outlet. Look for outlets that will be helpful for you. Now, you need a journal in your life, somebody who never will tell you always yes. Oh, yes. They just worship you because you're the best thing in the world. No, you need somebody who will tell you the truth and care so much about you, they're willing to sacrifice the relationship and tell you the truth. They're willing to do that. And finally, you need rest. And like I said, sleeping is very important. Is resting your mind through the day, finding things that can take your mind away from the busyness. That is very important for you to be more effective. So those are the three things I believe are the most important things to keep your sanity in leadership. I hope this video helped you and bless you and help you to keep growing. Have a great week. I will talk to you next week. Subscribe, share, tell your friends, and all that stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great week.